Hello, my name is KidsWithSoul, and you are now tuned into the Encore radio show.
The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of
passengers till I pass away. Lifestyles of the rich and fame. Waste the drugs in an ashtray. Smoking out in that cascade. Showing out in that ballet. These are lifestyles of the rich and fame. I'm trying to get a Bushini account. My alpha probably talking more than your rent is about. I'm spending money just to make it, we getting it out. But that's the hustle, nigga, guess I just figured it out. Gold on my neck, goals on my check, holes on my dick, foes on the net. Niggas think I rose from the dead. Put the pressure in, they fold under that. But for niggas only trying to join the code for the DAC, no flash. Doing shit that never was possible in the past.
Good morning, folks.
This is IS Jones.
This is Wise, and it's the Encore Radio Show. Thank you for tuning in today.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
As you heard already, we're here with Kids with Soul. Thank you for coming in, sir.
Thank
Really
you for
appreciate
having
it.
me, man. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, man. Honestly, we like, we like breaking artists, listening to artists, hearing their story. Everybody's story is so unique. So let's start with yours, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and this project, man. Project you dropped last year. We gotta talk more about that and more. But anyway, yes. First start with.
Well, I'm from Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing music since I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it just by being in like chorus. I just randomly tried it.
Fair enough.
Just doing covers, and I just got into music. I was born in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then my parents moved out to Staten Island, so I guess I grew up there.
Manhattan or Harlem?
Oh, hold on. Don't be one of them people who try to say Harlem, Manhattan. Because Harlem is its own city. It's its own like.
It was 125th. It's across from
Harlem, okay.
Rucker Park.
Harlem's towards its own borough,
It was
though.
near Rucker Park, so. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Harlem is not a borough.
don't do that.
Don't tell the truth.
Our
Okay.
Harlem listeners love
Don't
this.
tell the truth.
Harlem is the sixth borough.
But you know when someone's from Harlem because they gotta let you know they're from Harlem. So.
I'm still learning as I move further and further uptown now. Man. Anyway, so dope. That's dope. Let's start off with this project here.
Beautiful
First
cover.
off, thank you for bringing us merchandise, folks. We love merchandise. You bring us merchandise, we bring you back on the show. I'm talking about you. We do love merchandise though, so appreciate that. The Native Line. So talking about the project, you worked with Cap. Is that how you say it?
Yes, Cap.
Yeah.
Let's start with the cover though first, because we have this reverse triangle, and then you have all these interesting designs where you have layers in the triangle. So where did you come up with the cover art for it first?
Well, we wanted to get like this. It's just a project full of just weird. I don't know how to understand it. It's like, it sounds like you're in space.
Okay.
And it sounds like a trippy kind of, a lot of different sounds, a lot of different harmonies, and a lot of different stuff. And we just, when you like listen to it, I feel like you see, if it makes sense, you see colors.
Okay.
Like, you know, and you just kind of see images, and it's just like very dark, but you know, it was just something that we just put together. We pretty much had the cover first. We actually went with that, and we're like, okay, we want to make the project sound like that cover.
Okay.
Right.
Like, you know, have that dark, spacey, trippy sound. So that's where, like, you know, we actually got the sound after we got the artwork.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so listening to the project, I like it. Like I told you before, whatever. We communicated. We communicated a lot, actually, matter of fact. But no, I really do like your sound. I do like when I go on your SoundCloud, I just hit play. I mean, it really sucks because I really appreciate when if you have 30 tracks on SoundCloud, right?
Right.
I don't understand why I have to listen to your most recent first and then hear the last song, like the first song you did last. I want to hear it in reverse. I want to hear your progression. I don't want to hear you, I mean, for some people, artists basically devolve basically to someone who I didn't really want to hear for. You know, like artists sound that it grows as they mature as an artist or whatnot. And one thing I do like about you is your sound. So talk to me a little bit about your sound. Like it's like how can I explain it? It's like many harmonizing sounds of you.
Yeah, the way that I went about it is like any artist, I trialed and errored it. Like I was just like, I went from being inspired by certain artists and just like kind of chasing that sound and just being like, okay, how can they sound so good like that, I want to kind of, you know, dabble into that sound, to just creating like a giant melting pot. So I took like maybe like the crooning of like Kid Cudi, and then I took like maybe a little raspiness from like Chance the Rapper, or like, you know, or I took the Weeknd's like, you know, falsetto and dark, you know, that dark demeanor, and you know, I listened to a whole bunch of different artists, but the way I did it was just pretty much grabbed from like my favorite artists and just mixed it all up and kind of just created my own sound, which I feel like, you know, I'm able to spread out throughout like all my music. You know,
Side note, so speaking of Kid Cudi, he recently came out with his project Speeding Bullet to Heaven. What do you think of it? I only listened to a little bit of it, but I want to hear your opinion on it.
I wasn't able to listen to it in full, but what I did grasp from it is he was just, I guess, taking like a leap of faith, like the same thing like Kanye did with Yeezus.
I knew that was coming, by the way. I knew that was coming.
I mean, yeah, you know, but I, not to say that I truly enjoyed it, because I've been a Kid Cudi fan since, you know, the get. You know, I've listened to all his projects, you know, seen him in concert on multiple occasions, and this one, like, I did appreciate it in terms of like him trying something new. And I feel like it's just something that everybody is going to, you know, understand. You know, he just needed to be relevant to what was going on in his life. And yes, there are, you know, some rough tracks, you know, because I've listened to it, you know, a little bit, but overall, I think it was very brave, and I like it. And not to say that he aced it, but it opens up a door for someone who may want to go into that like punk, like rock kind of feel. And I feel like it opens up a door. It's definitely a different sound. It's definitely a different sound.
You know, I think that I find a lot of artists, they take more chances on mixtapes. Like, you know, they will try a new sound, try a new style, talk about topics that they typically wouldn't talk about in their main work on a mixtape. I expected it to be in a mixtape, whatever. I haven't heard it enough to be able to make a public comment about it. But I mean, I'm at this point right now where a lot of, like, an artist would have to do legitimate trash work for me to be like, nah, that shit was garbage, I didn't like it.
You're so generous. I hope to be generous as you when I grow up.
You know,
Something so
you know,
serious.
honestly, I think that, I think that every artist, every body of work they put together, it comes from a place, you know. If you're in a dark place where your shit feels like trash, maybe that's just what you're gonna put out. I mean, you know, sometimes, like, you know, I mean, for me, like, I would never listen. I said this a lot. I would never listen to a Keisha Cole project if she was happy. I think that shit would be trash. I need Keisha Cole to be sad. I need her heart to be broken. I know her and Daniel Gibson broke up now, so I'm waiting for some fantabulous something where she is crying her heart out on tracks, and I'm like, yes, Keisha, I'm about this. You know, if the Weeknd was super happy, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't fuck with you happy.
I mean, I don't like a Weeknd when he's sober. Like,
I mean, like, there's something I need from a certain artist, you know? So, you know, I'm starting to find, you know, my happy place with every artist that I listen to, because I don't listen to everybody. I don't. But, back to the native land. 9 tracks on here. My favorite track, I don't know about everyone else, but my favorite track is called Suicide Tendencies. This is the second track on there. Tell people about this song.
Well, that one we actually recorded the day of the release.
Oh, okay.
At my house, but that one was pretty much just like I speak a lot on just like troubles of just the world and troubles of my mind and troubles of like everyday life, you know. And that's where, you know, I had like put in there, you know, talking about, you know, just like police, and talking about just, you know, that hunger to just be like great, you know, just different thoughts that I have running in my mind. And a lot of times, like, it's all scrambled, but when we made that song, we were just speaking from the heart, you know. And I think actually that's been one of the favorites for most people that I have spoke who have heard the project. But with that track, yeah, we both just, you know, came together and we were just like, all right, how can we just project like this dark but very, very motivated and very like, you know, aware to tell people that, you know, we're just aware of like what's important and, you know, what troubles us. So that's how that track came.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So when you're looking for a particular sound, right? You work with producers that have that particular sound that you're looking for. I do not want to fuck his name up, but I feel like I'm going to. And I kind of like tried to study this beforehand and it didn't work out. I almost called him A. Dot the God before, and I was like, no, because then that wouldn't make any sense because it wouldn't be A. Dot he God. So is it a do or a do?
It's like Ado the God.
Ado the God.
Oh.
Fair enough. Okay, so I've seen that you work with him a lot, even outside of project. You know, in a lot of your more recent work that I've been listening to. What's the connection with him?
Well, one of my friends from Staten Island, he was part of the White Lighter Club. He put me on to Ado the God. He showed me his sound click.
Okay.
I would say 3 years ago. And for my first project, I just went through it. He had like 80 songs on this sound click, maybe 90 songs.
Okay.
Not songs, but instrumentals and stuff like that. And I just heard them, and I pretty much felt like I almost connected with like, you know, each one on a different level. Not enough to go through and record on all of them, but like enough where I was saying his sound is like something that I see I can like compliment or vice versa.
Fair enough.
And I've reached out to him, and he's like, you know, retweeted or posted, and I've talked to him through email. And I've gotten a lot of instrumentals from him, you know, just even that aren't even released, songs that aren't released. So I've known him for like, about 3 years. You know, but we've talked briefly, you know, mostly business, but he's definitely, you know, hooked me up with some, you know, some beats, some stuff that's not out, you know, that he had in his inventory. But it's definitely one of my favorite producers, actually. Yeah.
And not to mention that you're on here as a producer as
well.
Oh,
yes.
So,
Jack of all trades.
talk to me about your production skills. Like, what is your sound?
I dabble into a lot of different sounds. Particularly for the project, I did more of like a boom bap. I sampled the Isley Brothers.
Okay.
For that one, and it was more like, you know, like hi-hats and just claps and just like the nice smooth old school sample, and then we kind of just like livened it up a bit, and it's more of like a happy-go-lucky kind of go-get-it song. But in terms of sound, you know, I've done, you know, like very bassy 808, very speaker knocker, like just, you know, blow your speakers out. I have a song called Bad Luck, which I also produced myself, which is more of like a R&B kind of very ambient, but like hard-hitting drums in certain instances. But I try to dabble and try to, you know, just get like a different sound for every beat that I make. I try to make it almost, you know, non-comparable to the next.
I like that. I do find that some producers, they kind of stay in a particular lane, and it's kind of like, not to say that every beat that sounds the same, but if you know how you have a book, every page isn't the same, but it's kind of connected. You know, but I do like being able to show diversity, whatever. I think that's how a lot of producers, they kind of start out. They, you know, they kind of like dive from here to there and so on and so forth, whatever, and they find a certain thing that they like, and they go from there. So back to the project now. You worked with Kep.
Yes.
Being in Staten Island, do you find that your access to certain artists that may be in like Brooklyn or up in the Bronx, whatever, where, you know, obviously Staten Island is more so isolated than the other 4 boroughs. Sorry, 5, and if you include Harlem.
This again. All right.
You
ain't no borough, Harlem.
Do you find that it's a little bit harder to connect to artists outside of Staten Island?
I would say no.
Okay.
I've definitely been in contact with artists and producers outside of the island.
Okay.
You know, there's a thing where like I feel that Staten Island, not to be cliche, but like, you know, it gets a lot of the shadow of the New York end.
Yes.
But if you're on Staten Island and you kind of dabble in, you will really find like really talented artists on Staten Island. You know, and I feel like, you know, maybe some don't get the credit, you know, like as in, I know Brooklyn has a lot of, even just upcoming and people who have established themselves, as well as like Harlem, you know, that have, you know, that are in the mainstream eye. But I don't think it's difficult. I think it's just more so people in Staten Island not reaching out to the other boroughs and vice versa. I think it just all depends on the artist, because I have connected with like producers and also like other artists outside of Staten Island, you know, through Brooklyn or Manhattan. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Wu-Tang Clan claim Staten Island, or is it Long Island?
No, they definitely claim Staten Island.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Staten Island has some gems, but
She's an import from California. We like
you root for that. Anyway, your track LSD. Tell us where you were when you wrote that song.
I was in my basement. That actually was like I guess like a love song, but also it was just like a full out double entendre. It was like more so about, you know, tripping, and more so about, you know, just being in love. So it was like I took kind of like, oh, you know, you're on this type of psychedelic, but it's, you know, just really, you're just so in love. It's that feeling like that, you know, that peaceful and that free, and that just like, I feel like when you're in love, you have a different thought on the world. You see the world differently. You know, just as if you're, you know, sad, or you're, you know, anything. When you have these feelings, you feel a certain, you know, feeling, you know. So it's just more of a bliss and more of an understanding of just certain things. So we just did a double entendre throughout. So just between, you know, both.
So I didn't ask you about your background as much as I typically would have, but I mean, however I think every.
Or did you actually go to school for it? Right?
Yeah, I don't think. See, okay, here's my thing about that, right? I've been having this argument with myself, or some people around me, really, about the relevance of school, or the relevance of.
Oh, we've had the conversation.
Yeah, relevance of school, or the relevance of a degree. Like, I feel like you could, if you took 3 years, let's call it 4. If you took the 4 years that you went to school, right, and you interned at a company where you think you may want to be at for 4 years, where would you, do you think you'd be further along if you went to school, or further along if you were in the company? I think it's the company, because obviously they're teaching you, they're training you to be exactly what they want you to be. Whereas at school, they're giving you more of a general, basis and stuff, whatever. So if you have background in music that's from, you know, your uncle who may have 30 years in music, I think that's more relevant than saying, oh yeah, I went to 5 Towns. Sorry, no shade to 5 Towns. I know many people went to 5 Towns, but you know, it's like a lot of people have come to me and said, well, 5 Towns didn't help me with what they were like. So
yeah, no, I mean, I don't have any type of, I would say, teaching or any type of, you know, inspiration for doing music, except for like, you know, myself being as young as like, I would say 7 or 8, when I was like really, really heavy into music, just listening to music and, you know, just saving money, you know, from like allowance to just like buy CDs and just listen to them. And I would have like these like giant CD cases that would just like page after page after page after page of CDs that I would just like save up. And my music, I would say, like, you know, my musical you know, inspiration came from just self. And, you know, like I said, when I was in high school, I was singing in the staircase, just randomly, like just for fun. And the chorus teacher had heard like us singing, and he pulled me out of my drama class. And he was like, yeah, you're gonna be in chorus, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that. And up until then, I never had really, I loved music, but I didn't realize that maybe I had something to, you know, to show and something to do. But I never got like any type of teaching. I had like, you know, I saved up, I bought a Mac, saved up, bought a microphone, saved up, bought a keyboard, all my components, mic stand, and everything that you need. And I just went for it. Like, I took a leap of faith. And I just started writing. You know, I went from covers and I just started writing, and then I realized that like what I had to say or what I felt, like other people were starting to relate. You know, I never had put it on SoundCloud at that point, but I just would just like, oh, you know, hey, listen to this. Do you mind? Like, oh, just listen to this. And people would really sit there like what? Like, you know, that's you, or like, you know, that's you, and it's just like, and that's where I feel like I just got it from self, and I just pushed myself. And yeah, that's how I got, you know, where I am like musically now.
So okay, so you were in chorus. That means you can sing well.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, what do you think is the cover that you sound the best doing?
The cover that I sound the best.
And just for note, I'm about to ask you to sing it too. So.
Put this poor man on.
On blast, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I don't even know if I can remember the words, but the best cover that, and it is actually recorded, that I did record it was, I would say, Titanium.
Okay.
By Sia.
Wow. Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a very difficult song, and she's like a very, very talented artist. But that was, I feel like that was the one where I was like, whoa, this cover is like sick. I've done.
So what made you try that one?
I just liked the message, and I just liked her sound, and just like I like the mystery behind her.
She's so funny because she literally hides her face.
Yeah, and I just loved it. I thought that was just such a great, I would say, like, just not a gimmick, but just a great image. I guess, like, a great image.
So y'all ain't catch that, right? But I just handed him my phone with the lyrics, because we gotta hear this man singing here, right? Because
you hella shameless.
It is what it is. Because like at the end of the day, right? I could throw in, you know, a song he did or whatever in a podcast, but there's nothing. Everyone likes hearing someone sing live. That's all good. True. So as you're ready, whenever you're ready.
This is the actual. KidsWithSoul, Titanium. You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say to me. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet off me. You shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Cut me down, but it's you who you'll have to further fall. Ghost town and haunted love. Raise your voice, sticks and stones may break my bones today. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, you shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium.
Alright, folks. So we're gonna take our first break. When we come back, we got more with KidsWithSoul. We got to cover his new project coming out. I heard first quarter, so we can run with that. We also going to be talking about, obviously, some Staten Island. We're going to talk about Eric Gardner, talking about things that have been going on, Black Lives Matter, Donald Trump, and more. It's the Encore Radio Show, folks. Good morning.
Coming up on a future episode of the Encore Radio Show.
I'm spitting off the dome, spitting off the dome, yeah, we spitting off the dome, spitting off the dome, yeah, we spitting off the dome.
Yo, Chad, yo, and I say NYC,
NYC, laws, NYC, NYC, laws, NYC,
NYC, laws,
yo,
NYC.
Look, yeah, look, back past that with gas in the back of the class. Laws always telling teachers kiss my ass. Why be puffing no gas? My life these keys moving fast. Will we live or we last? And that's the question I ask. Will we live or we learn? Or where the tables will turn? And when our spirits are burnt, maybe the lesson is learned. Conspiracy theory screaming Illuminati. Only 18 with so much skill in my body. I turn around and all I see these rappers I body. But I ain't worried about taking bodies. My loss is a shoddy. Hey, you already know.
And we're back to the Encore Radio Show. And we are here in the studio with Kids with Soul. So you have your forthcoming project coming out either the end of this year or the start of next year. And what's going on with that?
Yes. Well, originally I had made it, where I would put it out this year, but just due to certain new ideas I had and just new experiences I had that I do want to include on the project. Mm-hmm. I'm just not trying to rush anything. I'm trying to make sure that I take my time with this one as I did with the last, and just make sure that it's exactly what I want, everyone to hear.
So does it have an official release date?
First quarter.
I'm gonna say, to be safe, you'll be seeing it within the first to second week of January.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
100%. It won't be past that.
Just don't pull Frank Ocean on us, because I won't be able to survive it. I can't survive any more disappointment.
Oh man, just side note. Side note. When you said forthcoming, I was like, I hope we don't have an ASAP Ferg moment where he's like, this is not my fourth project, this is my second. It's the first thing I thought, but I was like, let me stop. I was like, let me stop quietly laughing, because otherwise he might throw him off. Anyway, but no. So tell me a little bit about the project. I know this one is pretty close to your heart.
It's pretty much, I would say, 2 years in the making.
Okay.
It's a lot of unfinished things that I had before, which I knew I had concepts that I wanted to grasp, but I didn't live them, or I didn't feel those feelings.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that I wanted to talk about, or I just had ideas for it, and I just wasn't able to really go forth on it. So it's like a start. You'll see it. It builds to a climax, and it just falls right back down, and then it goes right back up. So it's like a roller coaster effect. It's like you start from this just building, and it's just you get anxious and anxious and anxious, and then it's just a big boom, and then it just calms down, and it just goes back. I don't know how to explain it, and
we'll wait for the tape. We'll wait for the tape.
Yeah.
So you're 22 now, right?
Yeah.
So this is from 20 to 22.
Yeah.
20 to 22 was some 2 crazy ass years for me. So I can imagine if I had put that into some creative juices or whatnot and made call it a project. Only me, right?
Yeah.
If I called it a project, it would be pretty fucking interesting.
I drank a lot, personally.
I drank a lot too, actually. I mean, I drank, I smoked for the first time. I graduated college, I moved to Barbados, moved to New York. I did a lot of shit.
Out of love,
Yeah. I mean, wow. So, sounds about right?
Yeah, I would say that what happened was I got out of high school, and as everyone is, you're clueless to exactly
life.
Yeah, there's a bubble. There's a bubble you're in until you get to a certain age.
Yeah.
And I was making a lot of music that was fun, which was, I felt like it was a very premature, but I was capturing a good sound, but it was premature. And I feel like through that 20 to 22, I just saw the world for what it is. In terms of in terms of the the destructiveness, the you know, the what's important, the what's presented to you, the you know, the basis of like, oh, you should strive for this, or you should go for this, or you should want to achieve this. But you know, they never explain to you how to be like happy. You know, and this project is more so how I thought, you know, certain things, and I thought I wanted certain things, or I thought those were the goals, and I thought, you know, having a lot of money, or that I would be able to have like a nice car if I did this, or, you know, certain things like that. And I just realized the truth of it, you know, and I always thought a lot of stuff should be like handed to me, you know, not handed to me, but like, you know, you feel like sometimes you're just like, you don't realize like what you could lose or what's your blessings. You know, you feel that you just day to day you're kind of like, oh, I got this, yeah, you know, and you're not always humble. And there's a lot of experiences that occur within any point in time in your life where like you feel that you're humbled. You know, you have things taken away from you, you have rejections that come toward your way, you have, you know, all this stuff. And I feel like I was at a point of like fun and more so, oh yeah, you know, this is how the world is. And then I just crashed, like, you know, because I was full out in that whole, I guess, a dream world, like this dreamland of like, you know, thinking, you know, oh yeah, it's gonna go this way and this is how stuff goes, and not understanding, you know, debts, and not understanding bills, and not understanding, you know, all these aspects of life that high school never taught you, you know. So that's where this project kind of puts it like all together. So.
I love it already. Just hearing you talking about it, just every time you said something, it took me back to a place where I was at that time period. And I was like, fuck, like, yeah, I definitely got humbled that time.
You feel invincible, and it's just, and you know, someone just,
hold the rug right from underneath you. It's like, fuck.
Exactly.
All right, start over, and then you start over, and you get to another place, and it's like, fuck.
Exactly.
Like, got these bills, and this, and that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have like a line, which I will show you guys, you know, the song later or whatever, but... it's just like, you know, working so hard for reality checks, you know, it's just like, you know, it's, you feel like you're building yourself up to something so much, and it's just like, you come across these walls, but, during the project, you know, I do come to these walls, you know, and I do get stuck, but, you know, by the end of it, you know, I do go through a dark state, but like, I know that I come to a conclusion where I really know I can conquer it. And, you know, and I'm in the mind state I'm in now, which is that go-getter, and that, you know, do what I have to do, and be humble, and, you know, count blessings, and you know, be good to other people, and you know, share your good vibes and your energy, and you know, minimize the, you know, your unhappiness, and try to spread love, you know, and not hate, you know.
What's interesting about that is that, it's good that you find that out now, you know. And you're actually able to like put it in a format that can never be taken away from you. Like, you know, you could, if you wrote it down in a diary, you know, some fucking shit, it could get lost, it could get stolen, your house could fucking burn down, like all kind of like crazy shit could happen, right? You record something, you put that shit on SoundCloud, you know, someone snags it up, and it gets copied and copied and copied and copied and copied, and all of a sudden or whatever, it's stuck forever. It is now, it is, remember how, I mean, I don't know, I didn't do this in school neither, but I saw it on TV a lot. You know how they have like those time capsules where they
in my high school we did that. Yeah, we had a time capsule.
Fucking California motherfuckers. Anyway. But nah, you know, honestly, you know, it's really like a time capsule. It's like, it's stuck here forever. Like, this is it. You know, I've never actually recorded aside from this right here. And I think that music, and this kind of lead into the next question, I feel like music is almost like a diary. It's like, this is things that I want to talk about, blah blah blah. So for you right now, you're putting out singles. You've been putting out singles for basically almost every week now, leading up to the project. None of these songs are even going to be on the project, right? No. Exactly, right? So this is like, okay, this is what's been happening, you know, this time. I'm still recording, but this project that I have is this is my book. This is the book of you know, 20 to 22, and this is what I'm talking about. Exactly. This is what happened to me.
Yeah, but more importantly, like, you're making the kind of music that carries with people. I know the music that I love, though, it's kind of music that literally follows me wherever I go. Like, it finds its way into my life in some way, and it becomes something that I need as a means of getting through our day to day. So do you feel like your next project is hopefully seeking that sort of longevity in that people be like, yeah, track number 5 is my shit. Like, I can't get through the day without listening to that song.
Yeah, I feel like what I did with it was bring an intimate approach.
Yeah.
I feel like I talked about stuff that I haven't even told, the closest of my friends. That's why I chose to not release anything. As those singles, I've chose to not release anything from this project. I have a lot of stuff that was on my mind, or a lot of stuff that I went through that, not to say I went through it alone, but I just had to take a lot of time to really see what was what. So I feel like, you're saying, yeah, like someone's gonna say, hey, this track, it really speaks to me and it gets me through this time or this day. I feel like I'm gonna have, like I said, I would say maybe like 9 tracks to be safe.
Okay.
That are just all intimate. I really don't have any really crazy club banger. I do have some heavy songs on there, but it's nothing too fun. Like fun. It's a lot of like just thoughts and a lot of like just intimate, just like something that you wouldn't even talk to people about, and you'd be like, oh, he's going through that too, or oh, I feel that way, but like I don't want to say it to everyone else because like we're all wearing these like masks and the whole smile
So
everybody.
You're trying to do like a J. Cole and Drake type thing in the studio?
Yeah I would but like just a me kind of thing, just where people don't expect it. If you personally know me, whether you're my mother, whether you're my father, whether you're my, my cousin, my, my closest of brothers and stuff, you just wouldn't know that, like, I was thinking those things, or maybe that, I was, like, going through those things, So it's just gonna speak to people close to me and just speak to other people, I hope, they really take it in.
So, we talked a little bit outside about where you record. You record in your house.
Yeah.
Right. Was it easier? I mean, I know some people, they come to a studio, they got the engineer in there, and they record, but I mean, I don't know. Again, like I said, I've never recorded before, but they may say, well, damn, like I want to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about this in front of this person. Is it easier because you literally can just be like, all right, I'm gonna record right now, what I'm gonna say, what's on my mind right now, with no one watching me.
Yeah, I feel like, recording at home, I've given myself, like, a lot of perks. In terms of, like, no time restrictions or any type of, just no rushing of what I want to say and how I want to put it on, a song. So I feel like there are times where I've gone to other people's houses to record, they have their little setups and stuff. And, like, I couldn't record certain songs. I felt personally I just couldn't record certain songs because I felt like it wasn't polished. I wouldn't be able to have it just in a polished sense, or just have that, like, the way I want it to, I don't know, resonate with somebody. Because I go through a lot of, like, record, just cut it. Record, cut. Record, cut. Whether I'm changing the lyrics, whether I'm changing the melodies. So it's a lot of stuff that I feel that is very intimate to me. So having my own, space and my own, no time restrictions, I feel like it's really given me the power to really, truly say what I want to say and take my time to say what I want to say and, like, put it into song and make it whether, catchy or create a flow, that I like. So I think definitely recording by myself is a plus.
That's what's up. Okay, so also within these last 2 years, I mean, I swear I just spoke about this either on Twitter or Instagram, but these last 18 months, in terms of society, with Black Lives Matter going on, with police brutality,
with
police killings, with mass shootings, domestic and international terrorism, a lot of stuff has happened. I mean, there's a lot of material out there for everyone to speak of, so you said, like, prior to this project, and even some time before that, you were talking, a lot of your music was, like, very fun, catchy, blah, 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 and it kind of, like, took a turn, especially even with the Native Land, it was more, like you said, it was a little more dark. Did that affect you, and affect your music as well?
In terms of what's going on in the world, yes. It, like I said, it was a reality check, like they keep you man, it's just like a shield. It's just like, it's crazy. And then like once you see the world for what it is, I mean, maybe it's always been like that, you know. Media is a very powerful tool in our society, like right now. So there's a lot of, you know, anything, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, everything gets documented in one way or another. So, you know, it's not to say maybe it has always been like that, but we just didn't, it wasn't in the light.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yes, definitely what's gone on and just all the injustice, just all the hate in the world, you know, that has gone on, and it's just definitely affected what I want to speak on.
Yeah.
And just how I feel on a day-to-day. You know, just knowing it's sometimes hard to go on knowing that, you know, you work for a government that does this, or you know what I mean, you live in a country that approves of this, or you know, they don't tell you what they do in other countries, but they call everyone terrorist, or you know, they put people in categories, but you know, they don't. It's not to say, you know, they always do it, but they're definitely doing some evil things in other countries that aren't documented and aren't said because they don't have social media, they don't have electricity, they don't have water, clean water, you know. So it's definitely affected me. It's made it more of like, you know, wanting to move forward in life and wanting to, you know, dig into the society of everything and fit in and do all that. But at the end of the day, I just know that, you know, you have to take care of like the people you're closest to and people who, you know, just need that helping hand. You know, you don't know like the smallest thing you do, like what it does to a person's like day, week, month, year, you know? And yeah, definitely like everything that's happening and all that craziness, it's definitely taken a toll.
Oh, so then a follow-up question is, what do you think is the responsibility of the rapper or hip-hop artist rather, and how do you
That's the same question.
And how do you think what you're creating fits into, I guess, this world narrative, if you will?
I feel that every artist is someone's idol, is someone's like superhero or role model, or just like, you know, you feel like you relate, like a friend or someone who just like understands you, you know. And I feel that a lot of artists, they just make what they think people want to hear, or what is popular, or like, you know, that everything has to be about, I guess, like spending money or
and bitches.
yeah, or bitches and just all and or drugs and you know, taking them and seeing that, you know, just putting it on this level of like, oh, that's the cool thing to do, or you know. And I feel like there's a responsibility. It's to guide the culture. You know, there's a reason why there's a lot of violence. There's a reason why, you know, and it's not to say it's strictly on music. It's everything, but you know, music, there is a lot of violence, you know, and there is a lot of stuff that's talked about, like, oh yeah, you know, I'll bang on you, or I have this set and I'll do this, and you know, and it's like, oh yeah, cops, you know, whatever, like, you know, we're not afraid of anything and all this. It's just like, where's the peace, you know? I feel that I keep the peace, and you know, and I just like me personally, I just want to like spread the love. There's gonna be times where I have hate in my heart, you know, but I'm not gonna like push it forward on other people who are happy, or you know, spread that hate, you know. It's more so just a self-dealing. But musically, like I said, I feel like the responsibility is to just say what you feel and say your real experiences, and don't fabricate it. I mean, if you are the world's best drug dealer, then you are the world's best drug dealer. It's what it is. But you know, if you're, you know, whatever, or if you're, you know, if you're the most, you know, depressed person, but music you feel makes you get away from it, then, you know, say what you're upset about, and let people really know how you feel, because I think that's where it translates, you know, to people, when you actually really feel what they're saying, you know, in, you know, tone of their voice or just the words, you know. So yeah, I think artists just have a heavy responsibility, because everybody's listening to music, you know. It's so big. Doesn't matter who you are. You have some favorite artist or some favorite song that, you know, you can go to, you know, that makes you happy or gets you through rough times. So.
All right, so 2015 was a crazy year for releases. Everyone, it seemed like almost everyone dropped a project in 2015.
Everyone and they murder.
Right, so what artists are you looking for to drop projects from for 2016?
2016.
You just give us like 2 or 3.
I'm looking forward to Views from the Six.
Okay.
Frank Ocean, if it ever occurs.
Untitled, unknown, whatever fucking project you're gonna
that
put out,
album,
yes.
I feel is gonna be very. It's gonna change a lot of stuff. It's gonna do numbers. As well as I would say, whatever's coming out of TDE.
Okay.
That's definitely one of my favorite camps. Like in the game right now. So anything that comes out of that, yeah.
Ice Jones, who are you looking for in 2016?
2016. I would love if No Name Gypsy would bless me with a mixtape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else? Our engineer is excited for No Name Gypsy. If No Name Gypsy and Chance did a project together, I don't think I need anything else out of 2016. I'd be tight. I'd be good. Of course, my boyfriend Frank Ocean. I definitely want him to do something. Isaiah Rashad, I feel like he just dropped something.
Yeah.
Or it's been a minute though?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been a minute. So if he did something in 2016, that'd be dope too. I'd be.
I also forgot about maybe the possible J. Cole and Kendrick
already.
Collaboration.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
He dropped like some type of date on the Black
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay.
I mean, it may be for a solo album, but they were talking possible collab too.
Yeah. So if the Justice Brothers, J. Cole and K. Dot got it together in the studio, that'll be fire as shit too. 2016 about to be this work.
Okay. Well, I would say I don't know. You know, for me, everyone's a huge Drake fan. I've never been enamored.
You know what's funny? I just became a Drake fan though after this beef, which we're gonna talk about.
See, I've never given a flying fuck about Drake. Honestly. Really? No, I haven't. He's not. It's not.
Is it because he has light skin feelings?
No, he's just not my type of artist. You know, I don't really grab nothing from him. But I do want to hear Views from the Six.
Ooh.
I might take some flack for this, but I do want to hear Dream Pictures 4. I want to see what Meek has to say.
Who?
Meek Mill.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I don't. What's
his real name? I think it's Rameek.
I don't really care.
The artist from Philly that got into the beef with the
Nicki
artist from
Minaj,
Toronto.
you're a good woman for staying with him. You a good woman.
I would like to hear. I don't know. I would like to hear. I would like to hear a project from Drake. I mean, from J. Cole. I would like to hear a project from J. Cole.
Okay.
And I don't know. So much artists dropped in 2015. I want 2016 to be like I don't want to see mixtapes. I want to see projects. Like full length. If I only saw a quarter of the projects that dropped in 2015, if only a quarter of the projects that dropped this year drops next year, I'd be fine. As long as they're all like fire. I don't want. That's fair. I feel like a lot of music dropped this year. And I think the beginning of it was just more so like, oh yeah, we had projects set to go, and everyone else at the end of the year was more so like, well, now we gotta put projects out too this year. I don't want that. I'd rather 2016 just more so be, okay, well, you know what, this is what we want to put out. This is a well fine-tuned project. This is what we're gonna get. So. It
was a quantity year, I feel.
Yeah,
it definitely was. I mean, there was quality. There was some quality in there, but definitely.
I mean, Jacquetta just came and slayed with the Pimp a Butterfly, like.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like he really. What was so important about the Pimp a Butterfly was, aside from the fact that everything sonically was such a huge shift from Good Kid, Mad City, I feel like he also kind of ushered in a new era of hip hop with that album. Mm-hmm. And by the grace of Jehovah Jireh, if anything is gonna be I'm dead ass though. If he does not win Album of the Year, I will riot. Do you hear me, New York City? I will burn a bitch to the ground. I swear to God. All right. On to the Grammys.
Well, speaking of the Grammys, I'm glad you actually said that.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to let you finish.
Go ahead.
But can we talk about how history has been made? Because J. Cole not only roasted whatever Meek Mill is, but he also went on to get nominated for a Grammy. And so for the first time... Oh, my bad. Who did I say?
J. Cole.
Oops.
Go ahead.
See, you get light-skinned motherfuckers mixed. I apologize. Anyway. We have Drake got nominated for a clapback track. And if he wins, Meek Mill Mays will just quit the game now because he will never be taken seriously again. I'm done. Go.
I fucking hate that shit.
I think it's hilarious, and I know why you hate it. I think it's hilarious.
First off, backstory that I got now. Drake did not want that song to be. He wanted Hotline Bling to be the song.
Yeah, his record label went behind his back.
Went behind his back and put forward back to back.
Because they're hella petty.
They are, and I think it's fucking ridiculous because I don't think that Back to Back was a song for a Grammy nomination, and then for the Grammys to kind of be like, oh well, yeah, we're just gonna put this on too. It's like, the fuck, bro. There was mad other music that went out. This was 2015. Mad shit came out. Why couldn't you choose another song? But whatever. Anyway, so let's talk Grammys real quick. Were you surprised by anybody's nomination?
Well, just that one actually.
Me too.
It wasn't so much like the fact that it's like a diss track. It was just, I feel like he just had better songs. True. Like, better music. He dropped a whole project out of nowhere, and it was just like, I love Company with like Travis Scott. I mean, not that that's a Grammy nomination, because that's more so of like a real listener's like ear type song, but I felt like Hotline Bling, not that it was like a favorite song of mine, which it wasn't, but it really dominated the year. It dominated the internet, it dominated TV, political candidates, like any, it dominated everything. So I think it was a good, that would have been the good song to have for like a nomination,
That's what I
thought
too.
From there, yeah.
All right, so let's see. You let us know who you think is gonna win this. So, best rap / sung collab. We have One Man Can Change the World with Big Sean, Kanye, and John Legend. Glory by Common and John Legend. Classic Man, Jadena, featuring Roman Arthur. I hope I didn't fuck that name up. These Walls by Kendrick Lamar, Bilal, Anna Wise, and the Thundercats. And Only by Nicki Minaj, Drake, Wayne, and Chris Brown. Who do you think will win out of those?
Are we talking for?
This is best rap / sung collab.
If it went my way, which it's not going to be, I would say, One Man Could Change the World.
I like that too. Actually,
really?
That's what I would rather. I would rather.
As long as Only don't win,
because I just feel like the message in that song and just like it literally has spoken to me. I've had like rough times this year, just things I was going through, and I like put that on, and it kind of gave me that, anybody could do it. Anybody, as he's quoted, like, can change the world. You have the ability. And then he speaks on like how his grandmother, I believe so, it was like his grandmother, whatever, is the first female black captain, and out there, and like it just speaks to you. It's actually a very, very inspirational track, as well as a good song. I mean, it has the great artists that you want to see on it, but it conveys like this message that like that it kind of just it spreads throughout the whole world, and I feel like it's a feeling that should be contagious. And I get very happy when I hear that song, but it also like it hits me, like, I kind of get like a little, not, a little emotional, actually.
Yeah, me too. When I heard that song the first time, I was kind of emotional.
But, and it's very rare that you get the just that happy feeling, but also just the emotional, like, just feeling inspired by it. So I would say if it could go my way, it would definitely be One Man Can Change the World.
Well, I hope it goes your way, because that's the song I chose too. All right, next, best rap song. We have All Day by Kanye, All Right by Kendrick Lamar, Energy by Drake.
All right.
The end, right? There is nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. His song became the theme, the anthem for like black protests.
Yes.
Exactly.
No one else can come near that.
I agree. Yeah. The other two were Glory by Common and John Legend, and Trap Queen by Fetty Wap.
Yeah.
All Right.
No, All Right is it? Man, whether it's just catchy, whether it's the message, the flows, the video, which was just remarkable. That's my favorite. That's my favorite video this year. I don't have any thing to compare to it in terms of just all, just editing and the black and white, the standing on top of that light pole, the police officer shooting him off the light pole, and like, wow, like that's Yeah, I would say all right.
I mean, I think we're all in agreement for that one.
It has to be. Who else? Come on.
Okay, so best rap album. This is the last one. 2014, Forest Hill Drive, J. Cole, obviously. Compton by Dr. Dre. If You're Reading This, It's Too Late by Drake. To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar, and The Pink Print by Nicki Minaj.
Bye, Felicia. What?
It's rough with that one for me.
Me too.
I feel that To Pimp a Butterfly, it's not as easily listenable. It took me a couple listens to really be like, wow. Like, you know, this, you know, is a possible classic in hip hop, like, you know, for its time and having all the messages and all the entendres and everything in it. But that the J. Cole, if you speak on his production, which he involved, which is mostly all him for the most part, you know, with the hands of other people, just being him, no features, just, you know, straight artistry from him, and just the listen and the catchiness and the messages and just the reminiscing. It's like, you know, it takes you back to Forest Hills, you know, and I felt like I was able to get in that like car the first time I pressed play on it. You know, I heard what was it? Hello is the first, Hello, and once I hit play, I didn't have it on shuffle or anything. I just let it sit, and I just sat there and was just like, whoa, like whoa. It took me on a ride the first listen, so I would go with Forest Hill Drives.
All right. Miss I.S. Jones.
Drive, for
This is actually hard for me because, okay, so I didn't see it for Drake at first. When I listened to If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, I was just like, man, fuck Drake. But then I listened again and I was just like, okay. Maybe he got bars. Not as good as the other products though. But then we have 2000 Hills Forest Hill Drive, which was like my shit and I love it. But I'm so sorry. J. Cole has a history of sus-ass lyrics though. Okay. Especially with the song, damn, what's the name of the one song? I think it starts with an A. Damn, what was it called? There's a one. Apparently, yes. That's the one with the sus-ass lyric. He has like the line goes, "Give a virgin the urge to rape me." If you listen very closely, he says it very fast, but I looked up the lyrics and that's exactly what he said. So he's out of the running to being America's next rap artist. So I gotta give it to the god Kendrick, To Pimp a Butterfly.
You know, I sometimes, right, I'd be like, I'm not gonna hear no Cali bias from you. Sometimes I swear to God, I'm like, I'm not gonna hear no Cali bias from you. But no, I'm gonna have to give it to J. Cole as well. For me, I'll explain. I think that 2014 Forest Hill Drive. So little backstory. I've been listening to The Miseducation with Lauryn Hill, right?
Oh, you better be. Go on.
I have. And I can tell you, like, I listened to that album for the first time when I was, I want to say 12. So it's been 15 years to me now. And I played that for like a week and a half straight. And if I had my headphones, which I lost somehow, some way, I'll be playing that on the way home, right? I feel like 2014 Forest Hill Drive will do that for me 15 years from now.
Really?
Yes.
It is a substantial...
And coincidentally, they both don't have any features on it.
Yeah.
So, with Kendrick Lamar, I do think that his album will become a classic.
Yes.
I think they both become classics. I just think that it went over too many people's heads. You have to listen to it too many times to be able to get enough from it. Like,
but that's the point of a classic, though. That's the point of a classic, though. Like, it has to be able to stand the test of time, and it has to be able to give itself to its audience again.
I feel like Good Kid, Mad City gave me the J. Cole hop in the car, and I was ready to go.
I mean,
Backseat Freestyle was my shit, though. Backseat Freestyle is my shit. Like,
Good Kid, Mad City will withstand the test of time, and it didn't go over anyone's head, really. This, like, To Pimp a Butterfly, 15 minutes from now, I'll listen to it. And I'll still be like, fuck, I'm still not sure exactly what he meant here. You know, I love it. I just think it went over too many people's heads, including mine. I've listened to it over and over and over and over and over again. And maybe by next year, this time, I might catch enough to be like, oh, well, maybe I was wrong last year. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but to segue, President Obama didn't choose a song of 2014 for it to drive for his favorite song of the year.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it.
He chose How Much Dollar Costs by Kendrick Lamar. So my first thought was that it was a sub for the overall project because of the message that it came with, right? What did you think when you heard that President Obama chose, out of all the songs in America, all the songs he could have chose, he chose Kendrick Lamar.
He got co-signed by the president, OBC, #44.
I wasn't surprised, to be honest.
Good, okay.
Because, just not that he has to keep an image, which he does have to keep an image. But it went to show how powerful the overall message in the project was. That enough where one of the world's most important people thought it was worth being that song of choice for their that year, or their song of the year. So it gave me just the reassurance of just like, yes, maybe it wasn't an instant classic as a whole, but it's definitely a classic. It's definitely something to listen back if you didn't get it the first time. And I appreciated that, because it shows that no matter what a level of power, it's just like, if you're saying something, it's gonna be heard and it's gonna be understood by the right people, or so I definitely appreciated his choice, and I thought it was correct. Like, I thought it was like, all right, I wouldn't have chosen like anything else or any other artist for a song aside from maybe, like I said, Big Sean. But
This is the second time we've heard from the White House and ever being interested in hip hop. Because with Malia, she was really here for Joey Badass Before the Money, which I was listening to early today. Though I love Before the Money; it's so good. And then now with Obama with To Pimp a Butterfly. So black people winning.
As always, man. As always, we've tested time. I can say that for a fact, man. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna take one more quick break. When we come back, we're gonna see if we can get a little acapella.
And talk about hip hop and.
Yes, talk about hip hop and more. It's the Encore Radio Show. Good morning.
Morning. Coming up on a future episode of the Encore Radio Show.
Take me back to day one. Take me back to days where we couldn't get enough. Your beautiful light skin. Just rest your hand in mine. Rest your hand in mine. I wanna see you happy. No matter where I am. No matter who you with. And after all this time, my feelings won't decline for you. I loved you, you loved me, everything was alright. But when he entered the picture, all we did was fight. Girl, you can't put me through that. Yes, I miss your calls and your texts, but through all the hurt.
And we're back with the Encore Radio Show, and I'm here with Kids with Soul, and this is the segment #HipHop and, where we talk about all things concerning hip hop culture and people being hella ratchet on the internet. All right, so hip hop and feminism. That is usually a cringing word for most men. But to narrow it down, let's talk about Ayesha Curry. I'm sure you know about the tweets that she put online, but I'll recap for you and read you two of the tweets that she sent out. One of them was, "Everyone's barely into wearing clothes these days, huh? Not my style. I like to keep the good stuff covered up to those who matter." And then her other tweet was, "Just looking at the latest fashion trends. I'll take classy over trendy any day of the week." So there's this kind of sort of binary that a lot of people think that she's in the right, but what ended up happening is it opened the gateway for like Hotep Twitter dudes to come in and be like, in a world of Amber Roses, we all need an Ayesha Curry, or women being slut-shamed for wearing certain things, and it kind of, there's a sort of unfair comparison that if you wear certain things, you'll attract this kind of respect, or if you wear certain things, if something happens to you, it's your fault. So I guess perhaps as a rapper, and rappers love to talk about money, bitches, and whatever the hell rappers love to talk about, and also as a young man, when you look at a young woman and you see her dressed a certain way, what is your knee-jerk reaction? Whether she's just like me, or if she's just in a t-shirt and jeans, or if she's just in a halter top and like a really high-waisted A-line skirt. Would you agree that attributing her respect to her clothing is fair, or what do you think about that? And be totally honest. No one's going to exonerate you for it.
Wow, it's tough because I feel as like society has a view as like, you know, less clothes, more promiscuous, or you know that type of feel. But for me personally, I think, you know, it's just you have freedom to do and wear whatever, you know, you really want to, you know. I don't think necessarily because you're wearing like a certain shirt or really tight clothes or something that it you know, it ties into your character or the way you conduct yourself, you know, toward, you know, men or women, vice versa. I think it's just everybody should just have their own, whatever they like, they should be able to wear. I mean, I think there are certain extremes where you can, like someone, Miley Cyrus, I hate to bring her up, but as a Miley Cyrus, that's just extreme, like, you know, and that's just way too much. It's just like you cringe at it. But, you know, to say that, you know, someone who's comfortable with their body and decides, you know, they want to wear, you know, this type of skirt or shirt or these pants or whatever, or the style, I don't think you should put them in a bracket, you know. And it, you know, it doesn't necessarily it will attract attention. You know, you should know going into wearing those, you know, those type of items that you're gonna attract attention from, you know, guys, women, you know, all kind of people. So, you know, it's just as if going to an interview, you know, you're not gonna go in there in like booty shorts and, you know, and certain stuff. It's just like, I feel that you should be able to wear what you want when you have, you know, you don't have any restrictions. You should be able to wear what you want without being judged to a certain point. You know, there's a line to like cross, but I don't think anybody should be judged for wearing, you know, any certain amount of clothing, whether it's too much or too less, you know. So
do you feel as though Aisha Curry's tweets were taken out of context and people perhaps took them too far and added all sorts of, I guess, theory and ideals to it that she didn't intend on? Or do you feel as though she was trying to make a point about how women who dress like me should be the standard? What do you think?
I feel like she just, because of the situation she's in, which is like a very, very respectable like husband, and you know, and her, like their family is just like, it's as like that, it's just it's not, their business isn't all out there, and for what you do see, it's a very stable and very happy, and it should be something that people would strive to be with someone and say, hey, I have that kind of relationship with my husband or my wife and my kids, and I spend time with them, and our priority is them, but, you know, we also work toward other things, and we don't share our dirt, and I feel like she maybe was just, you know, saying that she feels that she's doing it a certain way, you know, in a respectable manner that you would see, you know, that society would, you know, consider it as. And she was just saying, you know, hey, you don't have to, you know, be all out there to you know, find success or to, you know, have respect, you know, because there is a certain thing going on now with like Instagram.
It was these Insta-hoes, as people say.
Yeah, these like models where, you know, it's like less clothes and, you know, doing these angles that, you know, we know, you know, that they're trying, you know, to perceive this type of, I guess, like view of them, even if that's not who they are. It's just, okay, I'm gonna get more popular, people are gonna like me, you know, people are gonna reach out, I think that'll give me opportunity. And you know what, get it how you get it, you know, is how I would say it. But it's just when you have like, you know, younger generations, you know, saying, you know, oh, I want to be like Amber Rose, and it's not that she's, you know, successful in her own light, but, you know, it's more so just saying, you know, there's a certain standard, I guess, you know, that she wants, you know, people to see, that, you know, you can be a loving wife to someone, and you don't have to be revealing to find successes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say she was taking shots in particular at anyone. She was just saying that, hey, I want to be seen as, a role model too. Understand that if you're not comfortable with like showing your body or anything like that, you can still, be seen as someone who's, respected. Yeah. And you can be taken serious even if you're not taking off like all your clothes, to get attention. So I think what she did wasn't wrong, and I definitely think people took it just a little. They were just too sensitive on it, just too sensitive with her words. I think she was speaking facts, like yeah.
So then, what do you make of? So then, going back to Amber Rose, this sort of kind of comparison where we put Amber Rose on one spectrum and Aisha Curry on the other. Kanye West was on, I think, Hot 97 or something like that, where he was talking about his marriage to Kim Kardashian and all of these things. And at one point, the conversation shifted over to his previous relationship with Amber Rose and how he made a really, like, offensive comment saying that he had to shower 19 times before he was with her. When, depending on who you ask, though, Kim Kardashian and Amber Rose are in the same playing field. So why do you think it is that Kim Kardashians are put in a higher pedestal than Amber Roses when they're pretty much doing the same thing almost?
Wow, yeah, that is a good question. I guess it's more so the change that we've seen. We've seen her go from, a person that was just like, whether it was on purpose or not, leaked, a video out and had like this whole buzz and this whole like raunchiness to it, to someone who showed they were like a loving mother and she had her show and a smart businesswoman. And I feel like, yes, you could say at one point they were in the same bracket, but in terms of like, long term, I feel that Kim Kardashian, even though it may never be forgotten, she has definitely came about like on a good she has a good image now, like as just a mother and of now too, but a mother and a businesswoman and a loving wife, and a supportive wife and a designer and all this, and I feel like she's doing positive things. Yes, she was in that world and stuff, but now you really see her and you can respect what her and Kanye are doing. They see the best interest of themselves and their family, and they're making power moves and they support each other 1,000,000%, and you can see that it's just a genuine love, and I can't help but like respect it. I like I said, you can dwell on the history of it, but at this point in time, like, she's definitely doing things the correct way.
Thank you so much, Kids with Soul, for coming into the Encore radio show. Do you want to tell us your handles and everything, and anything that's going on with you forthcoming, any shows, anything like that? Of
course. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
First and foremost, because this is like my first radio interview.
Woo-hoo.
The vibes are awesome. But yeah, I have my upcoming project, The Other Me, which is coming out early next year. I have shows that are lined up for starting January to about May. I'll be trying to do at least 1 to 2 shows within 2-week intervals. And you could follow me on Twitter, SoundCloud, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook at KidsWithSoul.
All one word?
All one word. So just kids, plural, with soul on any social network. You can just Google me.
Okay, well, you heard that all. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all your favorite go-to places. Kids with Soul, that's KidsWithSoul. All one word, Kids with Soul. And you can find yours truly, I.S. Jones, at I.S. Jones Poetry on Facebook, I.S. Jones Poetry on Twitter, and at Aurorian Shire on Instagram.
And your boy Wise, the real Wise. The real Wise. What is he? It's the Encore Radio Show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Encore Radio Show is an indie creative network production and executively produced by Cris Copastetik.